For giggles, we're going to compare the ZV1 at 1.8 f-stop to a couple Fuji lenses, the 16mm 1.4 and the 15 to 45 3.5 f-stop. All of them will be set at 1 arm length away. You can see my finger right at the lens of the ZV1. What we will be concentrating on is the balloons back there for the bokeh, as well as the little tools, kitchen tools over here, and let's also compare the microwave. So 3 things we're going to be looking at. Make it as even as possible. Here we go. Okay, right now we have the Fujifilm XS10 with the 15 to 45 with the f-stop at 3.5. You can see my finger is 1 arm length away, so I'm standing at exactly the same spot that I was with the ZV1 at 1.8 f-stop. I think that you'll agree that the bokeh in the background is extremely similar. Right now, we have the 16mm 1.4 XF lens on the Fujifilm XS10. Again, 1 arm length away. So this is the exact same spot that I was with on the ZV1 1.8 aperture. I think when you look at the background, you'll see that this lens blows away the 1.8 aperture. So yes, basically the 1.4 and the 1.8 allow in the same amount of light, but the bokeh will be completely different. Now let's move to a 2.0 aperture. This is a 2.0 aperture right now on the Fujifilm XF16mm. I think you'll find that there's very little difference between the 1.4 and the 2. Now we're going to go to the 16mm and I'm going to bump up the aperture to 2.8. So here we are at 2.8. So if you were contemplating getting the Fujifilm XF lens at 2.8 aperture, now you can compare the difference between 1.4 and 2.8 for video. Again, I am 1 arm length away. I think so far you'll also agree that the bokeh on these settings on this 16mm also is better than the bokeh of the Sony ZV1. Now let's go to an aperture of 3.6. I cannot get a 3.5 on this lens, so we're going to go to 3.6. And here we are at 3.6. You'll see that this is very comparable to the bokeh of the ZV1, Sony ZV1 at 1.8, as well as using this same camera, the Fuji XS10, with the original kit lens of the 15 to 45, 3.5 to, I forget what the aperture extends out to, but at the widest point, this is where it would be. And then if you compare it to, say, f4, I also have the 10 to 24 lens, and you can see that there is a slight difference in bokeh. If you're interested, let me know and I can do a comparison of the 10 to 24 to this 16mm 1.4 lens. Once again, I am exactly where I've been standing this entire time. So a fun comparison between the ZV1 1.8 lens and the 16mm 1.4 lens at various apertures. Tell me what you guys think looks the best.